Morning, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? Happy Wednesday. Hockey fan, how you doing? Bacon, what's going on, dude? What's up, guys? Good morning. Thanks for hanging out with me. Wait for some more people to get in here. Hope everybody's having a great morning so far. Hope your week's been off to a strong start. Still feels a little bit weird that we don't have daily sports, but now the grind is back with NHL. NFL is still on the horizon. Week 6 coming up here. NBA, 6 days away. Things are going to start getting hectic, and don't take the last couple of weeks for granted in terms of time. I'm sure not. So, feeling any better? Yeah, I feel great. Thanks for asking. Last week at the end of the week was rough, but we're back here. Um, Josh is on his way home now. His flight got moved up a little bit in terms of time, so he was not able to make today's show. But he will be back on Friday, and things are going to be back to a daily grind for him as well as the rest of the NBA squad. We'll talk more about NBA a little bit later today. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. 6 days away for NBA. Got a couple announcements coming out today that we're really excited about. Grape. Oh, we're talking about jelly again. Yeah, dude. I'm. What's up, Jarhead? Yeah, I found out recently that I am in the minority of people that like strawberry jelly. So apparently that's a thing, and I grew up my whole life not knowing that. Uh, NBA 6 days away. Yes, it is. It starts on October 19th, which is next Tuesday. So, yep, that is what we're going to do. Also, today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I wanted to spice things up a little bit. If we gift 15 subs at any time in this chat, I'm going to give 3 people $10 for lunch. So, going the Josh route here, giving people some lunch money, and we'll go with it. So, 15 subs in order to do that. And you guys have the entire hour from 11 a.m. to noon Eastern to be able to do it. Strawberry jelly's the best. There you go. Where were you guys the other day? I was I was getting nailed by my strawberry jelly call on Sunday and Monday. Uh, yep, it is the best. It's the only way to do it. People were saying apple butter. They were saying grape. They were saying I don't know, all sorts of stuff. Cranberry. Like I've never even heard it. So just hit the 9 month subscriber. Nice. Yeah, so let's talk baseball. It pains me to say it, obviously, but the Brewers got eliminated last night in classic Brewer fashion. It was a haymaker of a game, so I'll say that at first. If you were watching this game and you watched the previous 3 games of the series, you would think that this game was like 20-19 when it was all said and done. But its final score was 5-4. The other games had like a combined 9 runs or something like that. So the fact that this game had 9 runs in it was definitely something to make it a little bit more exciting, right? So huge home runs from Rowdy Tellez for the Brewers again. Really, their only stance of offense here in this entire series was Mr. Tellez. On the other side of the game, we had a lot of timely clutch hitting from guys like Dansby Swanson, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Travis d'Arnaud even came through with a clutch hit. But at the end of the day, the dagger was Freddie Freeman, who hit that home run in the 8th inning to basically cap off the series for the Braves. And it was essentially a walk off, and it wasn't necessarily a walk off, but it sure felt like it when you watched it. The crowd basically took over the game, and the Brewers couldn't really do much. Christian Yelich strikes out to end his miserable 2021 season. So hopefully the Brewers can get their stud back on track next season. So the thing that I wanted to bring up here was that we were talking about. I was talking with a couple buddies about just the Brewers season in general, and the fact that we were able to do as well as we did in terms of wins in the Central Division. I think it was their franchise record for a regular season in terms of final win total in the regular season. Um, Very impressive. Probably the best starting pitching rotation that we've ever had in the franchise history. But again, losing to a solo shot from Freddie Freeman is something I will accept because if I were to pick 5 guys that I like or love outside of the Brewers, Freddie Freeman's in that top 5 for sure. So I respect him and I respect his talent, and he continues to be an absolute home run machine for this team. could go down as one of the great players at that position. So, Freddie Freeman, not going to be upset about losing to you. Econics, thank you for the sub, man. Subscribe for 9 months. Appreciate you. That is 1 down, 14 more to go. The Brewers' final offensive numbers for the NLDS. I bring this up because the numbers are actually atrocious. 192 team batting average. They were 24 for 125. They scored 6 runs in 4 games. They had 5 extra base hits. 2 of those are coming from home runs by Tellez. And the slugging, 264, which is miserable. 9 walks. Here's the key thing here. Out of 125 plate appearances, they had 48 strikeouts. 48 strikeouts for a team that had 125 plate appearances against the Braves. So there you go. That's exactly what baseball is in a nutshell for the Brewers, and that is why you have lost this round to the Braves. Moving on to other teams that got eliminated yesterday. The Chicago White Sox in miserable fashion at home as well. I feel bad for White Sox fans. They got pounded into the ground by the Houston Astros to send them home. 10-1 being the final score there. Houston scored 5, not 5. They scored 10 unanswered runs after the second inning when the Chicago White Sox put up their only run on the board by, Gavin Sheets hitting that RBI. So, yeah, Astros came through huge. Altuve, I know, won a lot of RotoRadar MLB members some cash yesterday for a can of corn's lineups. That is not a way that you want to go out if you're the White Sox, but shout out to them. Good season. Now both of the central teams in both leagues are out, and the Houston Astros go on to face the Boston Red Sox starting on this Friday. I would talk about more baseball, but we don't have any baseball today, unfortunately, and that's I don't even know if we would have had any baseball, but the White Sox would have had to have won yesterday for us to even have any baseball in the first place. UNC fan, appreciate you. Thank you for gifting a sub to Ted Rob. Ted, if you're in here, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you, and you can comment whenever you please. Jared must have won a lot of hockey or baseball money. Yeah, I won some good baseball money with Corn yesterday using that Astros lineup. Also got some Freeman exposure too because I know how crazy it is on that side of things. 5 long ones, cheers. Thank you. Oh yeah, nice. Thank you, sir. Yeah, 5 long ones. I appreciate you. Has it really been 5 years for you? That's crazy. It's actually my I got to do the math here. It's my 5-year anniversary with RotoRadar in... Wow, it's coming up a lot faster than I thought. 2 weeks. 3 weeks. 5 years and 3 weeks for me. So if you might have outlasted me, Brando. I came in around November of 2016 is when I first got hired by the company. Now it'll be my 5th NBA season. Sean's 6th. So, again, not to take too much off of MLB here, but we do have a huge announcement later today for NBA for year number 6. So we're pretty pumped about that. Can't wait. NBA season is 6 days away, so the gears are spinning for you guys. Hopefully you know that we're planning this specifically for this day, and that's why we've been so quiet this entire time. Now, again, White Sox, good season. No baseball today, guys, but we do have some things to look forward to here. We have a Game 5 for Dodgers and the Giants. Series tied up at 2-2. The Dodgers came through last night, won 7-2. Huge home run from Mookie Betts. That's kind of sealed the deal there for them. And then, yeah, we'll see. This is everything goes back to San Francisco now. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you think happens here? Dodgers Giants Game 5 tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I know a lot of you will be watching that. I'll try to multitask myself, and we're going to be doing the Tampa Bay Bucks, Philadelphia Eagles Thursday night game, as well as the Dodgers Giants on the other TV. So, as a Braves fan, you're stoked? Yeah, you should be, dude. Congrats. Freddie Freeman is a beast. I'm going to look at the odds for that game really quick, for that Game 5, just to see what we got going on here. Maybe they have some futures for the AL series as well. They do not. So it's just the Dodgers and the Giants via betonline.ag. Right now, we have the starting pitchers. It might change, but I think that these guys should go, and the Dodgers are probably throwing a bullpen game. Logan Webb's going to go for the Giants here, and Urias is going to go for the Dodgers, at least for the start of the game. The Money line right now leans Giants minus 109. Urias comes out as the minus 101 money line dog here. The game total is at 7, which tells you how close this thing is going to be. I would actually hit the under that. I kind of like that quite a bit. This seems like a 3-1, 3-2 type of performance, and I personally am going to back the Giants here because I don't like the Dodgers. I've been made very clear that I don't like the Dodgers. So sorry, Dodgers fans, you're probably not up anyway because it's too early. So Dodgers win 5-3. Says Girl Dad. Giants getting the W. Yeah, you should be backing your team, Bodian. There you go, home field advantage there. We're about to deal a big dub tomorrow. We got a lot of Giants fans in here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it's going to be a huge game. This is probably, it's hard to say, but I would say this could be the best game. And I know I don't want to take anything away from the World Series, but this could be the best game in the playoffs outside of the World Series. Game 5 tomorrow, Dodgers Giants. If Ruff is in the lineup, we don't win. He's horrible. Well, there's we'll just have to wait and see because honestly, I'm not sure how they're going to approach that kind of thing. I would expect the Dodgers to throw all their arms out there and lay everything out on the line. So it's going to be rough in terms of you're not really able to plan out the lineup very well if you're the Giants coach. Yeah, yeah, you pulled Wade last night. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was kind of confused about that too, but maybe they just were seeing this as like a hey, let's just go to Game 5 here and try to win this thing at home. Um, anyway, like I said, we don't have any baseball today, so if you're wondering why, that is why. The White Sox would have needed to win yesterday in order for there to be another game, but it is what it is. So Dodgers tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and then on Friday we have Game 1 of the ALCS between the Red Sox and the Astros. Astros technically have home field advantage here, so we'll see how things go there. Um, yeah, I'm sure that Sean's super, super excited. I'm sure you guys will hear about it on the NBA podcast that starts on Tuesday. Friendly reminder, I've said it for like the fifth time already, that the NBA season starts in 6 days. Also, I believe we're down to 13 subs to go. So, again, if you guys are late joining to the stream, thank you for coming in on Wednesday. I'm running solo today because Josh is on a plane back to Nashville. So he will be back from vacation and be on Friday's stream. And since we're running solo today, I wanted to do something special and give $10 cash for lunch for 3 people if we get to 15 subs. Right now we're at 2. So you guys have 45 minutes to get 13 subs in, and I'll give away that cash on the stream here. So thank you so much for hanging out. Let's talk a little bit more about some baseball here. I want to get you guys' thoughts. Who's going to, as of right now, we have 6 teams left? Yep. No. I don't know. I can't do math this morning. Red Sox, Astros, Dodgers, Giants, Braves are left. 5 teams. Thanks. So who out of those 5 teams, who do you have taking the NL, and who do you have between the Red Sox and Astros taking the American League title? I want to hear it. Hopefully you guys can't hear this, but somebody is literally like jackhammering outside the window. Giants, Giants, Astros. Kind of feels like the Astros year, doesn't it? The Red Sox eliminating the toughest 2 opponents that the Astros would have had to face really, really makes things a little bit easier for them. Although I will say I'm not going to count out the Red Sox, but I will say that they have a worse pitching staff than the Astros do. So the fact that the Red Sox were able to knock off both the Yankees in that 1 game playoff and took care of the Rays pretty easily is very, very impressive. So can't ever count the Red Sox out. I just feel like the Astros have a better uh, starting lineup as well as pitching staff in general. We'll just have to see if they're able to hit that Houston pitching. So seeing a lot of seeing a lot of Giants Astros here. I feel the same way. I think that whoever comes out of the Dodgers Giants game advances to the World Series, but we'll see. Baseball is crazy. Crazier things have happened. and I'm pretty pumped about it. So let's move on here. Let's talk about some NBA drama. We touched on it a little bit yesterday, but it is confirmed and reported that Ben Simmons has reported with the 76ers. Took a COVID test yesterday while we were talking about that on the stream, and we also got the news midway through the stream yesterday that the Nets are starting to figure out ways to deal Kyrie Irving because he's just not going to be available to play unless he actually is either vaccinated or no, just if he's vaccinated. Like, that's the only way he's able to play in Brooklyn. So we'll see. I saw somebody comment about Andy. What do I think if KD partners with Top Shot? Did that actually happen, or is that something that's being rumored? Because if KD partners with Top Shot, that is huge for the space. Um, oh, it actually did happen. Cool. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Like, if you guys have known this stream and you know me, the reason that I'm here on the stream is because Josh tosses me random things that I don't know that are out on the internet because I'm so involved in the NFL season that I just don't see any other sport unless I'm providing for it for DFS. So I only see NFL news. It's the only thing I subscribe to when like during this time of the year. So that's why I haven't seen the KD thing with Top Shot. That's pretty cool. I think that's huge for the space. I think that like we saw for Top Shot. I'm not going to make this a Top Shot show or segment, but they've made drastic improvements to increase marketability over the last 3 months, and it's been something that I've been really excited to see come together. His boardroom teamed up with Dapper Labs. That's awesome. Yeah, speaking of Dapper Labs, they also have an NFL product too that you can waitlist yourself on. So I would highly advise getting into that. Okay, cool. So the Brooklyn Nets, we were talking yesterday about betting futures on NBA and the fact that Kyrie Irving is not going to be able to play with this team is one reason for me that I'm off of betting the Brooklyn Nets to make the finals. Although I will say, they could still make it without Kyrie. I have no doubt in that. So don't get that twisted. They made extreme improvements to their big men, and I have a really good feeling about that team as a whole. Rather than last year, you were kind of just depending on the two superstars and some clutch 3-point shooting from the other guys on the roster. Now let's see if that changed anything in terms of NBA futures with all this talk here. Conference futures, Brooklyn Nets still lead at plus 110. And where are the Sixers? Plus 850 for the Sixers. Man, they really have... Where are the... Oh, okay. Lakers plus 190 to win the West. Let's see if we get finals matchups here. Brooklyn Nets versus LA Lakers, still plus 500 as the favorites. Nets Warriors plus 1200. Nets Suns plus 1200. Bucks Lakers plus 1400. Nets Clippers plus 1800. And finally, Nets Jazz plus 1800 as well. No team. The next closest East team would be Sixers Lakers at plus 2500. So, like I said yesterday on the show, Joel Embiid was backing Ben Simmons, saying that, he's here, we got to get over it, we got to play. I'm just really interested to see how long that they keep Ben Simmons on the roster for. I think it's more of we need to show and give people a reason to try to have us trade for Simmons, right? They're going to have him play a couple of weeks maybe to start off the season. And what better way to do it than opening the season at home against the Brooklyn Nets? That's going to be the best thing ever. Anyway, any thoughts for the Lakers? Or sorry, not the Lakers. The Lakers looked good last night, though. That's why I thought of that. They played preseason last night. So any thoughts on the Nets, guys? Do you have any hopes or any thoughts about how long Kyrie stays on the team? Because I don't honestly think that he doesn't make it through the year with them. He either doesn't play at all or gets traded for somebody. I don't know. I think that it's tough to say because I don't think he wants to play anywhere else. I don't even know if he really wants to play basketball. And that's been his whole thing the last couple of years. Like, does he really actually want to play? So there's been talks of him retiring too, and I don't really know if I believe that altogether. But I do not think that he plays for the Brooklyn Nets, or at least plays more than 20 games for the Brooklyn Nets. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, next week is opening night. It is there's a 2-game slate. and we're pretty pumped about it. Like I said, 6 days away. It's year 6 for Roto Radar. Big announcement later this afternoon, so make sure that you tune in and keep an eye on Twitter and the Discord. Um, so next Tuesday, Brooklyn Nets take on the Milwaukee Bucks. It will be the Bucks ring ceremony in Milwaukee. Right now, the Brooklyn Nets are -1 road favorites here. The game total much higher than the other game at 239.5 via betonline.ag. You then have the Golden State Warriors in the second half of the doubleheader taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers are -5 at home. The game total sits at 230.5. That's going to be an awesome game to watch as well. So great first night of basketball. We can't wait for it. And that's going to be, if you guys are new to the NBA season, that's your first opportunity to hear Josh and Sean on that Tuesday podcast. So make sure you tune into that and mark your calendars. Going to play some NBA preseason tonight. Nice. I don't mess with that at all ever, but good luck, sir, and good skill. No Kyrie means Bucks have the real big three. Ooh, I like that. It's a spicy take. Desert Zombie coming in, being my new favorite best friend. Yeah, Bucks have something of a big three, I guess. I would say it's like a big 2.5, if you want to go that way. But yeah, I think the Bucks are going to be solid this year. They signed some key players over the offseason after losing PJ Tucker again to whatever reason. I don't know. I'm still shocked that we ever let him go, but they have some interesting pieces. I know they signed Grayson Allen, so Josh now has to root for his boy on my team. And they also signed Semi Ojeleye. I believe they also got Rodney Hood and George Hill. So they're running it back. It's going to be cool to see and cool to watch, and hopefully they stay healthy. To hit 2 takedowns and single $2. Nice. Yeah, there you go. If you know, so NBA preseason is a lot of like trusting beat reporters as well as things going the right way for you. Because at any moment, if anything happens in the preseason, whether that be, a player lands funny or they're just not hitting their shots or they just don't feel like they have it that day, they'll sub themselves out, and that's the game, right? So you have to kind of have a lot of stars align in order to be successful in the preseason in any sport. And if you're killing it, you're killing it. Let's go ahead. Let's move on here. I think we'll talk about Simmons and Kyrie, I'm sure, for like the next 15 weeks. I think we can move on and take over here. Are you going over NFL DFS scenarios today? This is the morning stream, so we're not going to talk DFS, but we will be talking DFS in about 90 minutes. So we'll be back talking. We're actually going to do a FanDuel GPP build session. So I'm going to be building FanDuel GPP lineups for week 6 on the Strong Side afternoon stream for NFL DFS. You can catch that stream at 1 o'clock Eastern time, so 90 minutes from now, roughly. All right, let's talk about some college football here. Not too much going on. It's kind of a slow day in sports, guys. Wednesdays always are. But we should still say and state that the Oklahoma Sooners have not yet stated whether or not Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback for this week. And, I don't know if we hear that anytime soon either. I don't think we even get that news today. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think that there's ever really a time frame like the NFL where you have to report specific news. Like college teams don't have to do practice reports and everything like that. So they get a big matchup on Saturday night against TCU. They host them at home. And, I think there's a possibility that Rattler gets named the starting QB job. It's just that there's a lot of things there's a lot of ways that this could go. For me personally, if I had to bet, and I wish that BetOnline had a actual spread for this and a prop for this, but I would bet a considerable amount of money that Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback. I know that Josh and I talked about him being in the transfer portal on Monday. That was actually something that was gaining a lot of hype on Twitter, and we fell for that, and that actually did not happen. So I think Spencer Rattler should be starting on Saturday, and I feel pretty confident about that. It might be a contrarian approach. People might think that it's the other way around, but I think that they're going to give him another shot here. No MLB DFS, no NFL DFS, idle hands. Yeah, I feel like that. I feel that, man. The good thing is, guys, we have, after a 2-game hockey slate last night, we have a full game of Wednesday full game of, or full slate of hockey games tonight. So if you missed out last night, we have a full slate of hockey games tonight, and Hockey Mike it has that under control for you guys today. If you're interested in signing up for the NHL season, feel free to DM me on Twitter or DM me on Discord, and I can hook it up for you. Yeah, people were saying last night that like I can't get into hockey. I can't get into hockey DFS. Like it's boring for me. It's like soccer. And while I sort of understand that, I would say that hockey is probably up there, not as high as football or college football, but it is up there in terms of live sports. Like I think watching a live hockey game, especially an NHL game, is way way up there in terms of excitement and actual thrilling sports to watch. So I'm high up on hockey, and I think that I'm not just saying this because I think because I work with Hockey Mike, but he is literally the best at what he does. So no bias here, but the best. Yeah, coming from hockey fan. Yeah, I know you love hockey. I love hockey too. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of a hype here. Anyway, if you guys are interested, feel free to sign up. Even if you're signing up for a week for hockey, I promise that you'll enjoy it. Anyway, let's talk and move on here. The last thing I'll say about the Alabama thing is what we said yesterday, or 2 days ago, when, are there people that are going to be skeptic of them and a little bit scared of them winning out here? Sure, but this is the classic overreaction. I think Nick Saban will pound everybody into the ground the next 5 weeks, and they'll end up right back in the national championship game. I have no doubts, and you should not be worried if you're an Alabama fan whatsoever. So, I don't know. I think that Nick Saban's going to be he's going to be the winningest coach in college football, and this team will look back at this Alabama program over the last 20 plus years, and you'll never see anything like it in college for a while. And I feel very, very confident about that. So they should not have a problem at all with the rest of their season. So let's move on. Let's talk about some NFL futures. I wanted to get this topic going because I think it's an interesting opportunity here come week 6 to kind of dive in. And we're not a third of the way through the regular season just yet, but we're getting close, and we're kind of getting to a point where we know what teams are and how good teams are right now, injuries aside. So there's always going to be 3 to 5 teams that are riddled with injury and their seasons are just over, right? But at the end of the day, through 5 weeks, we should be able to know where these teams kind of rank and position themselves in terms of personnel and in terms of what they're doing through the first 5 weeks of the season. So let's pull up some NFL futures here and see if we can get a good read on some of these and see if there's anything that I really like to bet here. Again, we normally just kind of do this on Thursdays, but I think this is a great opportunity on Wednesday to be able to try to get a gauge on what's going on. All right, NFL futures. Saban will have more guys like Trayvon. Yeah, Diggs taking it. Yeah. Yep, they're going to have amazing talent no matter what. Kentucky's a 22-point underdog to Georgia. I know Georgia's elite, but that seems ridiculously high. Am I too biased for UK, or are they getting disrespected? I think that Georgia is the real deal. 22 points seems like a lot, obviously, but in college we've seen a lot more. If you want, you can tease that to 25, 26. But yeah, I think that 22 is pretty accurate. So sorry, CLP, but I think that's a pretty accurate line. Alabama loses to Georgia in the SEC title game, and the 2 losses knock them out of the playoffs. Bold take. I can get behind it. That game is going to be the game of the year probably for college football. So, again, I'm probably siding with Alabama, but Georgia, it's really, really hard to say that they're any worse. Actually, right now you can't say they're worse because Georgia's better, technically. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about NFL futures here. Let's talk about division futures first. The Cowboys in the NFC East. This is not really a surprise. At least for me, I thought that the Cowboys were coming in. You were able to get plus money on them in week 1 to win the NFC East. So I thought that Dak was going to come back and this offense was going to get back to what they were doing from last season. The one thing I did not expect, and the one thing that's going to be the thing that takes them a little bit farther this year is that defensive play. I think that the defense for the Cowboys has looked stellar through the first 5 weeks of the year. And I think that at the same time, this offense is going to continue to do what they're doing. And I think that the Dallas Cowboys are clear favorites to win here. At minus 475, it's a little past my comfort zone. I'm not going to bet that. I want to bet plus money things that I think could happen and could shake out and take a little bit more risks here. But Dallas Cowboys, you should be able to bet that, they're going to win the NFC East, no problem. Wonder what happens if Kentucky beats Georgia on Saturday. I mean, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible. If we saw Alabama lose last week, anything is possible in college football. By the way, I've brought it up a few times. I'm going to see Wisconsin versus Army on Saturday night, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Been to a few Badgers games before, but this one's going to be pretty fun. Cowboys have never beaten New England in Foxborough under Belichick. Think that ends this week. Yep, talking about the Cowboys now, continuing with the NFC East stuff. They've never beaten Belichick in Foxborough, huh? Okay. I think that they still win this week. The thing is, like, when Belichick always plans things, he always plans it by, I'm taking somebody out, and who do I take out if I'm Belichick here on this Cowboys offense? Is it Cooper? Is it Lamb? Do they just, do they lock in on Dak and refuse to let him throw the ball down the field, or do they stop Zeke in the ground game? I think that any way you go, wow, sorry, my throat's killing me this morning. Any way you go, there's going to be another offensive piece that they're going to be able to go to in that Cowboys offense. So while I think it's going to be a gross game, kind of like that Tampa Bay New England game was, I think the Cowboys should pull out here by like 3 to 5 points. Washington, not the team that we thought they were. Philadelphia, we knew that they were rebuilding, so this is actually an improvement to me. So I think that the Eagles have something here in some of their young stars. Quez Watkins is an animal. Kenneth Gainwell's a monster. Jalen Hurts proving to be the quarterback that we all kind of thought he was. Still doesn't have a full regular season under his belt yet. So he will get there. He will get better over time. And I think that as long as they keep getting more stars like Devontae Smith and competent tight end play like they've always kind of had the past couple of years, they're going to be okay. Now, the New York Giants, on the other hand, are not going to be okay this year. Injuries to their quarterback and Saquon Barkley, as well as literally every receiver on their team. Not a good look for the Giants. They're going to struggle mightily over the next 10-plus weeks of the season. Let's move ahead. Let's talk about the NFC South. Another clear division that's kind of, separating itself. Tampa Bay, the clear front runner here. No surprise for me. They should be running it right back. They're returning like 21 of their 22 starters on both sides of the ball. So Tampa Bay is good to go. Gronk, he'll probably, maybe he gets healthy and returns for the playoff run again. Who knows? But they don't necessarily need Gronk to be able to beat teams, and we saw that week in and week out. Tom Brady's on an absolute tear. Should be an MVP type caliber season for Brady, and this offense just continues to destroy people. So I think that minus 500 is a little bit too much for me to bet them. If you want, I would never suggest betting this, but if you want to, I'm not going to say, I guess no. But anyway, New Orleans plus 500. Things are looking rough with that offense. I don't understand that offense, and Michael Thomas being out of it just doesn't help anything, so I can't say any more good things about the Saints. Carolina plus 1,100. This is a team that I can get behind in the future. I think that Sam Darnold is going to be this team's quarterback for a long time. We need to see if Christian McCaffrey is going to stay healthy, but the budding of DJ Moore's season is in play here, and it's been pretty fun to watch him rise into that possible superstar type category. He's not there yet, but he has a real chance to be there in the next 18 to 24 months. So the next year and a half or so, he's going to be up in that name range of Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and some of these other guys. So I like DJ Moore a lot, but they do need CMC back. Yeah, thank you, Desert Zombie. I appreciate you. That reminds me I should probably drink some water here. The Falcons, not good. Matt Ryan is probably at the end of his career now, and I'd be surprised if he came back next year. If he comes back, it's going to be his retirement year, but he honestly could say that he's retiring after this season. Atlanta, Not looking very good right now. Buffalo Bills. Let's talk about the AFC East here. Buffalo Bills, another clear front runner here. So three divisions down, three clear first place finishers. Buffalo minus 1,600. Not betting it. There's no point of betting it anymore. They're going to be a possible one seed in the AFC when it's all said and done, and should play in that AFC Championship game towards the end of the year. So New England plus 800, Miami plus 2,200, New York Jets plus 12,500. So yeah, not good. Let's move on. Baltimore minus 130 for the AFC North, Cleveland Browns plus 150, Cincinnati Bengals plus 1,100, and the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 1,600. This is a division I can get behind in terms of betting the value here. I wish that BetOnline had the to make the playoffs bets again, because I would definitely back the Browns here at plus 150, and I would go as far as saying that I think that the Browns have a really good shot at winning the AFC North. The Ravens should be favorites here after the big win that they had. The problem with these divisional futures is that it changes every single week. So trying to look into the future and trying to find and strategize how you approach these numbers based on what the next couple of weeks look like for these teams is really important in terms of how you get your pricing for them. So Cleveland Browns plus 150. I know they came off a loss to the Chargers, but they looked really good. And they've been such an up and down offensive team so far this year that I think that if they get back on track, get a little bit healthier, and start finding their groove, that they can take this division. And it also helps that you have the Bengals and Steelers in that division that they should be able to win against as well. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with these Ravens and Browns matchups. Actually, we'll look to see when they play each other. I don't think Goosty's in here right now. I was going to wait and see and rely on him for that information, but we'll see when they play each other. They play each other on November 28th, which is a primetime game, and then they also play each other on December 12th. So this is where the division's going to come in place here. AFC North, you can kind of wait to play. You can place these bets right now if you want to, whether or not you believe in the Ravens or the Browns. But I would honestly focus my attention on what happens in between these games of November 28th and December 12th. That's going to be what decides the AFC North, in my opinion. Matty Ice and Big Ben playing retirement musical chairs. Yeah, well, there could be a scenario where they both have no chairs to sit on when all is said and done here. All right, let's talk about the next division, AFC South. The Titans minus 425, Colts plus 275, Texans plus 6,600, Jacksonville Jaguars plus 6,600. You're obviously not betting the last two teams there, so it's Colts versus Titans yet again. You could say that the door was kind of swung wide open for the Titans after that win against Jacksonville, and then the Colts lost to the Baltimore Ravens. If I was a Titans fan, I would be cheering for joy after watching that Monday Night Football game, because they're starting to run away with this thing a little bit. The Colts not doing as well as most expected them to, and that's how football goes. So right now the AFC South is as follows. The Titans are the only team that has won more than 2 games. They sit at 3-2, and then the Texans and Colts are both 1-4, with Jacksonville being 0-5. You never get this. You got the noti when you went live. No, sorry, dude. We sent that out right at the beginning of the stream, so I'm not sure why that didn't get sent out to you. Thanks for hanging out so far, guys. Again, if we get 15 subs during this hour stream, I will give 3 people who commented in the chat $10 for lunch. So right now, there's only been 2 subs, and I have a feeling that some late show fireworks are going to happen here. So let's continue talking about the AFC South. Right now, the Titans, clear favorites. I don't think that you really need to focus on this, and I wanted to just do this exercise to walk you through what I see from a betting standpoint. There's only really one division that we've talked about that I'm even interested in so far. Hopefully there's a few more that we can talk about, but I'm not touching the AFC South. I don't think that the Colts have a shot to win the division here. AFC West, Los Angeles Chargers, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders sit at plus 1,200. I think that a lot of this has to do with everything that happened with Gruden. It's going to be a tough transition. Going to be rough to see. Not to say that they're going to mail their season in, because I still feel like they should have a pretty good season. But when you look at the standings, like, you wouldn't expect the Raiders plus 1,200 for the AFC West divisional title when they're sitting at 3-2, and technically they're second place in the division. So you would not expect that by looking at the numbers, but I think things are just going to start to trend downward for the Las Vegas Raiders here now after all this drama with their coach this week. So we'll see how it goes. They have a very, very important matchup against Denver this week, so we'll see who the clear second place team is in this division come week 6. Now, the Chargers are getting minus 110 odds here as the favorite. I wouldn't be so quick to do this yet. I think that there is still time for Kansas City to come back. Kansas City is only down 1.5 games here, and if the Chargers lose for whatever reason this week, and Kansas City wins, because I think that Kansas City wins against Washington. If the Chargers, for some reason, aren't able to get things going, and they falter a little bit over the next couple of weeks, we'll see how things go. But I think this is a really, really good opportunity to get some plus money on the Kansas City Chiefs here at plus 150. So you heard it from me first. I might put this in my article this week for the NFL DFS package. Lay some money on Kansas City plus 150 to win the AFC West. I feel pretty confident about that. The Chargers this week get the Ravens on Sunday in Baltimore, and then they host the Patriots. They have to go on the road against the Eagles over the next 3 weeks. So while I think that they win 2 out of 3 of those, Baltimore is going to be a tough challenge for them, and it's going to be a great DFS game too. So again, we're going to be doing a DFS show here in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. If you guys want to hang out, I'm just going to be building a lot of GPPs on FanDuel. So pretty cool exercise to do for you guys midweek. So yeah, Chiefs plus 150. I feel really good about it. It's probably my favorite bet so far that we've talked about. All right, a couple more to go here. We have the NFC North. Green Bay Packers minus 450. Vikings plus 525. Chicago Bears plus 700, and the Detroit Lions at plus 25,000. Now, I always laugh at the big numbers for the teams that don't have any shots. Chicago plus 700. We'll see what the injury to Fields is going to look like, and Montgomery when he returns. They all, these 3 teams, Packers, Vikings, Bears, all of them always have a shot to beat each other. And we have a really, really big matchup against the Bears and the Packers this weekend, which I'm very, very excited about. Big rivalry game. That's going to be this Sunday at noon. Like I said, this could go any way. I don't care like how good each team is each year. Whenever the Packers, Bears, or Vikings play each other, it always seems to be like they always play down to their each other's levels, and it's very physical, and it's just I don't know. It's just a complete hammer game. So we'll see how it goes. Packers are 4-1 right now. Bears are 3-2. Vikings are 2-3. So the interesting thing here is both the Packers and the Bears are undefeated at home. Now the Bears are hosting the Packers at Soldier Field, and we will see how it goes. I think that there's interesting, as much as being a Packers fan, like I'm not going to say bet them at minus 450 because that's too much money. It's too high of a price. If you want to throw some money on the Vikings or the Bears at plus 525 for the Vikings or plus 700 for the Bears, you can do that. I think that the money at this point of the season makes sense. So maybe this is a different conversation in 4 weeks, but right now, and this is why I wanted to do it before week 6, you're starting to get a good idea of what these teams look like. And Green Bay coming off a few really, really big wins, a few late wins, one in overtime and one in the fourth quarter against San Francisco, makes me a little bit concerned about their defenses in the second half as this thing kind of plays out. So Chicago could be in a spot where they upset Green Bay this week. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm pretty pumped about it. So at the end of the day, I think that there's money to be made on the Vikings and Bears if you want to go that route. But again, Kansas City probably has the best money right now at this point. Finally, never mind. I say that, but we have another one. We have another hammer that we can lay on. NFC West, Arizona Cardinals, minus 110. Los Angeles Rams, plus 125. San Francisco 49ers plus 1100, Seattle Seahawks plus 1800. This is going to be, well, is it going to be contrarian? Guys, what do we think about the NFC West here? Because if I am looking at this from an unbiased perspective and just looking at these teams on paper and looking at their strength of schedule, I know that the Cardinals are undefeated. They're the only undefeated team left in the league at 5-0. They have put up some very convincing wins, and I think that the reason that they're up at this point is because they beat the Rams in such convincing fashion. If they didn't do that, I think this would be flipped, so that's why I think that the Los Angeles Rams are just as good of odds to win the NFC West as the Cardinals are, if not better. Plus 125 for the LA Rams seems like a very, very solid way of using your money if you want to bet something. So I like the Rams a lot at plus 125. I like the Chiefs a lot at plus 150. And I like some extra, let's say, GPP type of money approach on the Chicago Bears or the Minnesota Vikings. So those are the kind of the three that I want to stick with. You can lay some Browns money in there too at plus 150. Pretty cool exercise to see and just get a glimpse, because I honestly didn't know myself about where things were going here. So that's interesting. Let's look at the conference odds and Super Bowl odds really quickly, as we have about 13 minutes left of the stream. Okay, Tampa Bay still the favorites for the NFC Championship, plus 275. The Rams plus 425. Dallas and Green Bay are plus 550, and the Cardinals are plus 600. So that, to me, going from Division to conference futures does not make sense in terms of the NFC West. BetOnline has the Cardinals as the leaders for the division, but they have the Rams much, much higher, 175 points higher to win the NFC Championship game. Browns could play spoiler this weekend, and Rams playing the Giants. Browns spoil the Cards. Yeah, very, very interesting on how this could shake out here. Yeah, I like the Rams plus 425 to win the NFC Championship. That's a very solid bet. On the AFC side, we have the Buffalo Bills at plus 210, Kansas City Chiefs at plus 375, Baltimore Ravens at plus 550, and then the Browns and the Chargers at plus 650 for both of them. Tennessee comes in at plus 1800 as well. So I think it's a good opportunity to get plus money on the Bills if you think that they are a Super Bowl contender and Super Bowl team. I think at this point of the season, with what we've seen so far, especially from that defense, I think that qualifies in that category as long as they stay healthy. Kansas City, always a good bet if you want to fire that up again. I wouldn't, double down on both the division and the conference. You can do that because I think that they have as good of a shot as anybody else does at this point. And I'm concerned about their defense. I'm not concerned about the offense. I do think as this season plays along, they're going to figure things out, and the Chiefs could be back in that AFC Championship game. The Cleveland Browns, very, very interesting bet at plus 650, as well as the Chargers. Both of those teams, different styles, have shown that they are making drastic improvements and could be. They're playoff contenders. I wouldn't say title contenders just yet. And then Super Bowl odds here. All right. So they did. They put the Buffalo Bills above the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in terms of the odds to win the Super Bowl. So Buffalo Bills plus 525, Tampa Bay Bucks plus 550, Kansas City Chiefs plus 750, and then the LA Rams are the only other team under plus 1,000 odds. They sit at plus 900. I think that the most interesting bet could be the LA Rams at plus 900. I have a feeling that we're going to get a Rams-Bills Super Bowl, and that would be really cool to see, especially from a Buffalo perspective. I think that those two teams are some of the strongest, and I would like to see, personally, I'd like to see Tampa Bay lose. So that's just what I'm going for here. But I think that the LA Rams plus 900 is definitely an interesting way to go. All right. We are going to move on to flag on the play here. I think the biggest thing for me in terms of flag on the play is that Brewer stat that I locked up earlier, where they went 192 for a batting average for the NLDS. which is 24 for 125 and 48 strikeouts. That would be my flag on the play. Also, I don't know. I mean, like, can you really blame Josh Hader? I think Freddie Freeman is one of the most dangerous hitters, no matter who's pitching against him. So I'm not going to give Josh Hader the flag on the play. If anything, I don't know how many of you guys watched this because you were probably watching the Astros game early on during the day. But if you guys saw the Luis Urias catch off of the Omar Narvaez blunder in foul territory, and I just want to see if the chat knows what I'm talking about here, because otherwise I'm just going to be, talking to myself on this one. But there was a play that was challenged where it was clear that Urias used the ground to help him catch the ball and kind of snow cone it into his glove. It was clear that it touched the ground, but the MLB reviewed the call like on the big screen in front of everybody, and it even went to the point where the umpires are putting the headphones on, and they reviewed it, and everybody saw it, and they still kept the same call as a catch, even though it clearly wasn't. So if I had to pick a flag on the play moment, that was definitely it. So if you are interested in seeing what that is, just type in Brewers foul ball catch on Twitter or something. It was insane. Anyway, underdog mentality. I am going to go with an NFL pick this weekend because we don't have any baseball to talk about right now, and I'm not going to I'm not going to give you an underdog hockey bet unless the chat really wants me to do that, because I have no idea what I'm talking about there. So I'm going to go with you for an NFL bet here, and underdog play is going to be something I talk about tomorrow for the NFL stream that we normally do, where we go 16 games, game by game. This week's not going to be 16 because of the bye week, but we're going to go game by game tomorrow at this time. So make sure, if you want some NFL betting advice, check in on this show tomorrow. Philadelphia Eagles plus 7.5 tomorrow night against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think that this is a very, very solid approach. This is probably going to drop to plus 7, if not plus 6.5 by the time Thursday night kickoff rolls around. So right now on betonline.ag, who is our official sponsor of the morning after stream, you can get the Philadelphia Eagles plus 7.5 at minus 135 odds, which is a lot of steam coming in on that number. So I think that it hits plus 7, if not plus 6.5 by tomorrow afternoon. Other bets that I would like. John says go Ducks over Winnipeg. I mean, I'm going to take your advice on that one, man. I have no idea what's going on with that. Maybe I'll have to ask Hockey Mike and have him get his opinion on some of these bets today. So if you want, another interesting bet is for underdog play. And I hate to be this dude that's going against my own team, but Chicago Bears at plus 168 makes a lot of sense at home. Interdivisional rivalry here. This game goes back like 100 years. So, yeah. I think I'll invest in a dog kennel. You want to escape from it? Nice. There you go. Yeah. And if you want, I know that the Giants aren't underdogs, so that's why I'm not going to bet on the Dodgers underdogs. Packers blowing out the Bears, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I would like to hope so, but I also know how close these two teams play each time, no matter who's playing and no matter who the personnel is on either side. So we'll see. Weather shouldn't really be that much of a factor, especially in October. So we'll see how it goes. Other NFL bets, just looking at it, and I'm looking at this for the first time. Chargers plus 130 looks really good. I can get behind that, going up against the Ravens in Baltimore. And this is a tough one. I don't know if I can stomach this, but Raiders plus 165 against the Broncos minus 190. I like the Raiders is interesting. That's an interesting bet. Not sure if I'll side with it tomorrow after doing more research, but we'll see. And that's pretty much it, because everything else does not have a money line. So Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith possibly upsetting the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. That'll be fun. Econic says F the Dodgers. Yes, I will say the same thing. And I'm not going to use them as an underdog mentality bet because I don't believe in it. So, all right, guys. We've got about 4.5 minutes left of today's stream. Thank you for hanging out with me. I honestly, I knew this was a slow news day, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me as I'm running solo. I know it's been a couple of weird days with the morning after stream, but we're going to try to be committed to sticking to this time frame of 11 a.m. to noon Eastern time. and then we'll do the strong side DFS streams for NFL in about an hour. So we're gonna stick with that. Josh is back from vacation now, and the NBA season is going to start on Tuesdays. So things are going to normalize a little bit. Well, we're kind of, this 2 or 3 week lull of no daily sport from MLB to NBA is always kind of a time where people kind of relax, step away a little bit. But now it's time to step back into the grind. So I would appreciate you guys hanging out with us every single morning. We're going to be talking a lot of NBA. Obviously, the NFL shows will be every Thursday when we talk about the game by game betting approach when Josh is off. So we do have about 3 more minutes if maybe somebody wants to get $10 lunch via PayPal. I'm still, you still qualify for 3 minutes. We do need 13 subs though in order for that to happen. So you guys are sitting at 2 right now. The 2 minds, yeah. We're gonna be so make sure to tune in about 1 hour from now, 60 minutes, right back here on this channel, and we are going to build GPP lineups on FanDuel with the news that we have for Week 6 at the moment. So if you guys want some early tournament lineups, some of my best lineups over the past 6 weeks have come from these early streams. And it's kind of weird how that pans out sometimes, but sometimes the first looks are the best looks. So we're going to be building a lot of GPP lineups. I hope to see all you there, and I'll just take any final questions or comments. Lyle Collins tried to get a judge to reverse his suspension. Didn't work. Nice. I didn't see that. That's funny. Again, me not seeing NFL things. What happened to the Raiders? Oh, John Gruden got fired. That happened on Monday night. Desert Zombie Fields will get himself a schooling lesson from A-Rod if he starts. There's a really good chance that Dalton could start due to the injury, but we'll see. Screenshot action coming up in the next stream. Yeah, feel free to screenshot your hearts to your heart's delight. That's exactly why I do these streams, and exactly why we do what we do there. News: Trey Flowers got released by the Seahawks. Okay, okay, that's fun. Wow, that's interesting. So another guy that probably should not be cut from a team got released by the Seahawks. All right, that's cool. Anyway, Carr throwing like shit. Yeah, I mean they had a bad game. That was just a bad game overall. I mean technically he resigned, so does that count as being fired for first coach being fired? Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know how BetOnline viewed that. I don't know how they actually did that. So we'll see. Oh, here's something we can talk about really quickly to end the show. Adam Schefter announced about a half hour ago that starting this season, ESPN is going to broadcast the Monday Night Wildcard game for the next 5 seasons. So we kind of knew this a little bit, but we didn't know the details of it. So you're going to be able to watch games on Disney Plus. It looks like possibly. So at the bare minimum, ESPN's hosting the Monday Night Wildcard game. I wouldn't be surprised if that shifts over to some type of Disney Plus type of scenario. So yeah, it'll be really cool to see. Guys, we have about 30 seconds left in the stream, so I'm fine with not sending out $30. But if you guys want some lunch, you have 13 subs to go, and I will gladly pay up my end of the bargain if that happens. So. Carr throwing like shit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Raiders do this year. Unfortunately, it's very rough for that franchise. They made the right move. That should have never been allowed in the first place. The fact that it got swept under the rug so long as it did is really disheartening. So hopefully things are all better now. And also, if you didn't hear, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers announced that they also took away John Gruden from their Ring of Honor even after he won that Super Bowl. So pretty sad, but is what it is. And on that note, we are going to end the stream. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Did not get to that sub mark, but you know what? We'll double down. If that happens and we get 13 more subs on the NFL stream in an hour, I'll do the same thing. I'll live up to my word and I'll give some people $10 for dinner. So we'll see you here in about an hour. As always, good afternoon and good skill.